And of course, a lot of the people who know a bit about Zen and who have also heard about Buddha nature would be often thinking about the famous Koan. Does the dog have a Buddha nature and moo or no? Can you explain that as well? And I think, how does that work with the general understanding and realization of Buddha nature?
Yes, that's maybe the most famous example of Buddha nature teachings in Zen, is that koan. But we can hear there's a whole kind of rich history of Buddha nature kind of behind that koan. Does a dog have Buddha nature? Of course, the teaching is that all sentient beings have Buddha nature. So that's kind of like a given, that understanding. So, the rational answer would be, of course, a dog has Buddha nature. But then Jiaozhou, the ancient Chinese Zen ancestors, said no, in Japanese, mu, there isn't any. So it sounds like, but that's not the teaching of Buddha nature. So this is the way that Zen people will talk sometimes. And I think what I mean by the rich history behind this is looking at whether Buddha nature exists or doesn't exist. There are teachings to support both sides. And in Zen in China and other Buddhist schools in ancient China were exploring this issue, and partly in relationship to like Prajnaparamita sutras, where everything is negated. So is Buddha nature negated or not? There was some debate about this. And so that's one way of looking at this koan. There's other times, in fact, Jiaozhou, the teacher who said, when does a dog have Buddha nature or not, said no. On another occasion, he was asked the same question and he said yes. And then sometimes he offers little bits of more comments about why he would say yes and no. But I think the one that got most famous is just this simple, unexplained koan. Does a dog have Buddha nature or not? No. And we could say here that this no is like, not just the, no relative to yes, but the no of Prajnaparamita that's cutting through everything. Any ideas about Buddha nature, the monk who's asking, does the dog have it or not, is already caught in this dualistic mind. So it's this no that just like Manjushi's sword that just cuts through all conceptual idea. So as most koans, it's not so much like a philosophical statement as a practice instruction.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I've not got such an explanation before. It's really insightful. So it's really...
One other, while we're on the topic of koans, maybe I just mentioned there's quite a few koans, these Zen stories, really Zen dialects that mention Buddha nature. Another, I think, really interesting one is that's quoted by Dogen in his Buddha nature essay, as are most of these other stories. A monk asks the teacher Changsha, when an earthworm is cut in half and both halves crawl away on their own, right? In which half is the Buddha nature? I just think it's a kind of fun koan, right? And Changsha says, his reply is, don't be deceived.